All right, everybody, welcome back to the Great Stoned Podcast. I am Dragon, Great Stoned Dragon, if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
And I am Nolan, at Nolan Talks Anymore.
In this episode, we spend pretty much the entire time just singing the praises of stand-up comedians and stand-up comedy in general, really focusing on comedy as a whole and the role that it's played in our lives. Because Nolan, you and I both have wished, like we've tried our best to be as good of comedians as we've been since we were in elementary school, right?
Oh, totally, yeah. So I mean, we've always gotten like the class clown kind of stuff in its individual right, and then we've also like just consumed hours and hours and hours of comedy. Like we mentioned it in this episode that it was a good time passer on a lot of weekly road trips that were like an hour drives back and forth. So it was just a good time to, or a good way to pass the time and everything too, and just a great thing to consume, and it stayed with us.
And it really got us into doing this here right now. So thank you so much for taking the time to check out our podcast. Sit back, relax, roll one up if you're into that type of thing, and let's get into the episode.
We's gonna get silly, bitches.
Oh,
Vodka
yeah.
martini. Shaken, not stirred. Shake it!
Never stir it!
Never stir it!
Pete Holmes is one of my favorite people on the planet, and I would, even though I don't think he likes the whole pot thing. Dream blunt rotation for sure. If he's in there, he's got to
Still,
sit at the
he'd
table.
still be a great vibe. He wouldn't be like, "Oh, what are you guys doing?" He'd still be like, hell, he'd still probably like, even if he didn't smoke, he'd still like mess with you or be kind of funny or
Enjoy
something.
the contact high, but also
Yeah.
share insight. I think that man is so insightful. I really
Yeah,
do.
totally.
I admire him.
He would still
greatly.
be someone like just to be around when you're in that state of mind.
And to the
But-
folks at home, just want to just take a moment. If you've not watched Crashing, Pete Holmes's show about stand-up comedy, you are doing yourself a disservice. You should absolutely go watch it. It is only 3 seasons, and as soon as you start it, it's hard to put down. It's so good.
And it has like a bunch of comedians in it too, from like playing themselves as well.
Yeah.
So it feels like it kind of feels like you're in the show a little bit too, but it's goofy enough where you're like, man, I really hate Pete Holmes's character because he's really playing into the like bumpkin, I don't know anything, but he's also very like relatable at parts, because I'm like, oh, I've felt that way like when I've gone from being in like a small town or a small religious upbringing and then going out to the big city or hanging out,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And, like specifically the part where he's like walking with the people and he's like, do you mind if I walk with you guys? And they're like, what the fuck, man, don't say anything, just walk. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's been me so many times. Like, oh, do you guys care if I hang out with you? It's like, we're already hanging out. And I'm like, well, my bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand. Is it cool if I stand right here? We invited you over.
Yeah.
Oh,
Turns
okay.
out, yeah. Turns out you just gotta keep going and everything. Yeah. No, so yeah, Pete Holmes Crashing, great show. Yeah.
And the
amazing.
one thing I love about that show too is like it's all about comedy and kind of the plight of a stand-up comedian who's trying to make it. But like Nolan said, there's tons of different comedians that make cameos, like Bill Burr. Who else? John Mulaney shows up, I think, at one point.
What's the
Artie
Whitney
Lang.
Cummings?
Is it Whitney?
Yeah, Whitney Cummings. She's like hosting a show on there. Like
Oh,
I think
yeah,
her
you're right.
HBO show is in the show or something like that. Too,
Yeah,
at
you're
some
right.
point. So John Mulaney.
Yeah, I think Mulaney. Hannibal Buress shows up for one episode, which is great because I love him. He's hilarious.
Does he?
Yeah, it's a very small part though. He's like
Oh,
on and
okay.
gone. But that's
Oh,
another thing. I love.
TJ Miller. TJ Miller.
Yeah, TJ Miller's on there.
Yeah.
But like that's one other part of this show that I love so much is that like these comedians come on and then they actually put like their live bits in the show. So
Yes.
it feels like you're seeing their actual stand up as they're playing themselves on a show about stand up comics. So it's just a really unique way to view things. And Pete comes at it from just this beautiful angle and really, really paints a really fun picture or writes a good story. So
it's good. Even if you're watching it, I would recommend it. Even if you're not trying to be a comedian or something, like if you're just trying to be some sort of artist, or if you just enjoy a good story overall, like even if you're not trying to relate ultimately, like if you just enjoy the story, like it weaves like real life struggle with like nightlife comedian. He's like crashing on couches, hence the title. And it just kind of shows like a lot of his like ups and downs early in his career, kind of written out into like a character or something. So I guess it's like a modern version of Seinfeld. Not at all, like not like humor wise, but in terms of like a show about a guy playing himself, early days comedian kind of thing. So
Right,
I like
right.
it. I like
He
it a lot.
he also models it a little bit off of his own personal story because, like, in even the first episode, like how the show
Right.
kicks off, it's like he went through that. That is something that he experienced, and then like this is part of his journey into what he turned into. So, take that,
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan circle jerk. We're on a Pete Holmes circle jerk right now.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Take that. We have not mentioned Christopher Nolan for at least. No, we didn't.
Damn it!
No.
God
Oh,
dang it!
damn it.
It's like that
Uh,
the game. We all just lost it,
we
bitches,
all
or
just lost.
whatever. God, I
So
hate that game.
if we do want to segue to speaking of stand-up comedy, so by the time this comes out, it will have been a few weeks. So multiple things will happen since then. We'll talk about like new music and stuff like that coming out because I realized that by the time this comes out, New Winter will be out too.
Let's
So I was like,
go,
oh, shit,
dude.
we're in the
Let's
future.
go.
But we'll get there. For now, I'm gonna reminisce a little bit because this past weekend, I saw
Hallelujah,
Mark
baby. Praise
Normand.
God. Sorry.
But gang, gang, baby, praise God. It'd be cool if, maybe in the future see Theo Vaughn, but I did see Mark Normand with my cousin Michael.
Fuck yeah.
And yeah, we saw him in Raleigh. And the cool thing is he did the Friday and Saturday shows. He might have done the whole weekend, but he'll do like a 7 o'clock, a 9 o'clock, and then the following time, following day, a 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock. But there was a 4 o'clock show, and that was the only one that wasn't sold out whenever we got tickets. So we're like, dude, you want to go to a comedy show at 4 o'clock on a Saturday? Hell yeah. So we go, and the host comes on. Host is whatever. He's kind of funny, but kind of cheesy, whatever. And then the support guy comes on. He's really, really funny. And then Mark comes on, and he straight up just pulls out a notebook, and he's like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I just shot a special. I don't really have anything new, so let's just see what's up. And so like it was just all like off the cuff, like notes, trying out new stuff. So like I think there was a lot of times where he thought he was bombing, but the room loved it. Like they kind of riffed on the whole like, yo, what the fuck are you guys doing in here day drinking at 4 p.m.? Like there was a lot of that kind of shit. So the vibes were there, and he ripped on our home state of North Carolina as well too. Like he just I guess that's easy to do because like the part of the state that I live in currently, there's a lot of like rivalries between towns based on like colleges and like teams and stuff like that. So the show happened in Raleigh, but he was like ripping on Durham and Chapel Hill and all this other stuff. And he was like, Research Triangle, that sounds like the nerdiest fucking orgy of all time. Like it was so like it was just a lot of just like quick, like he opened just with a lot of like quick like local stuff. Like he's like, what do we think about Durham? What do we think about Chapel Hill? Da, da, da. Like he just it was very, very good. Like it almost set the energy of like you're in high school and then like that guy must go to Jefferson High. Ha, that's our rivals. You know what I mean? Like it was that kind of that kind of thing. Like the Family Guy bit. And then I don't know, it was just a good time because he just practiced a bunch of like off the cuff stuff. He told some stories and it was just very, very fresh. And we had a great time, and it was really funny because the people, they make you sit with, other people because it's, it's jam packed in there. So me and my cousin sat with this like couple,
Right.
and I guess they come to that club like all the time. Good Nights Comedy Club, by the way.
Hey, Good Nights. I love that place.
They like these people like this, the couple we were sitting with, it was like girl, they said they were from like, I don't know, some insert town here, whatever.
Yeah.
They were from somewhere local, but like their husband or boyfriend, male character is like Russian or something, like Eastern European sounding. And then she just sounds like she's from like down the road. You know what I mean? And but like she was very vocal throughout the performance. Like before Mark, like the opening guy, she was like, nope, hate it. Like she straight up, she was so like she's not like heckling him, yelling, but she's like, nope, not good. Like she's so funny. And then she was like whenever he was wrapping up, she's like, yeah, it's about time. Like she was she kind of had like the not like a heckler lady. She had like the almost like she was the like a theater director that's like, all right, honey, get on with it, like kind of vibe. Like she was fun to sit with because she was also like at the funny parts, like during Mark's set, she was laughing and like I at one point I had like half a THC drink too, and like I guess it hit halfway through, and at one point she was dying, and I just leaned over. I was like, I love you. You're so fucking funny. I was like, this is so cool. So, but anyway, yeah. So we saw that, and it was seeing a comedian, and we can bridge to this too because you and I had the pleasure of going to that same club at its previous location back in 2019 to see Gary Goldman.
Woo!
Um, Seeing a comedian at a club, seeing a really big comedian that you followed for a while in like a club like that where you're like spitting distance away is so fucking unreal, dude.
I
I
bet
love it.
so. Yeah,
Well, no,
Gary
dude,
was
yeah, I mean,
cool. Yeah,
yeah,
that
that's
was
what I'm saying.
nuts.
That's why I wanted to bridge that in because you and I saw. I mean, way back. This was right before like the pandemic was
Yeah,
happening. It was like
right
a
before
month
COVID
before.
hit. Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Yeah.
But one thing about what Mark did, and I think it's just such a brilliant move for a stand-up comedian, is to come out and then like the first thing that you're doing is hitting like geographical locations that are like in the area
Oh
or like
yeah.
things that are relatable, and just to win the room over first and then to
Sure.
try to like do off the cuff material or even work new material. It's like, all right, I got you guys on my side here in the beginning because it's like, all
Yeah.
right, I can speak your language for a minute. And I think
Yeah.
winning the trust of the room is so important. So I think that's just like a really cool way to do it. And
For sure.
Gary, I don't remember Gary coming out and doing any like necessarily North Carolina based like bits, but
Right.
he just came out with a confidence about him. And I think we saw him the last show of the night too. So it was like the late show.
Oh yeah. He's kind of tired, and I
Yeah.
remember we also witnessed like people heckling and getting kicked out.
Yeah. I didn't think that was a real thing. I did not. I
That was
thought like people
wild.
can't be that dickish to do that. And then it's like, yeah, no, we watched it first. It's like three people too got booted, and one guy, it was bad. Not
Yeah,
bad, but
yeah, and I don't
he was being a
like the
dick.
performance was great, but it was just funny because again, you and I are in that like to go back on like you're in the club. There's only couple hundred people in there, and you're sitting at these little wooden tables that are rickety. Like sitting with other people and like really tight knit. So like you're gonna hear if someone's happy, you're like, oh shit, that's like right there. Damn.
Yeah.
And what's funny is like as opposed to a I literally just thought about this in real time. As opposed to a metal or hardcore show where like, hey, there's somebody fighting because it's like aggressive music and stuff and people are moshing, so maybe they got a little out of hand. At a comedy show, I feel like people just get drunk and then maybe yell and then get kicked out, but I don't know if there's ever like fights.
Oh, I'm sure there is because, somebody mouths off in the crowd, comedian has rebuttal for that. And then drunk person in the crowd then gets offended because you were a dickhead and said something interrupted, and now the comedian roasted you, and now you're gonna get all pissed off about it because people suck. But
What
yeah,
the thing
people can
I'd be
throw hands
afraid
for
of,
sure.
the thing I'd be afraid of, because I've heard people refer to this before, is like a heckler heckling them, then they get kicked out, and then they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna be waiting for you in the parking lot."
Oh yeah, fuck that.
Like, what, dude? Especially if you're like early on in your comedy career, where you're like still driving to your own gigs, and you know what I mean. You
And
don't
you
have
can't
like the
go up to
big bus.
security and say, "Hey, can you guys walk me to my car? Because I want to make sure I'm good." Because it's like you're just
Yeah,
another like dude. They're not gonna care.
it's wild, man. Being in like stand up is so weird because it's so intimate. Like it's
Yeah,
just you. There's no gear, there's no band, it's just you and that mic, and it's not even
yeah.
your mic. Like even in bands, like singers have like their own mics and stuff a lot of times,
And
right?
there's noise to hide behind a little bit too. It's
Yeah.
like you can
And
block some of it out.
if a joke doesn't do well, you can be like, "All right, next song."
Yeah, yeah. We'll keep going here, and we're not gonna take a beat. We're just gonna get into the next bit. But like,
Yeah.
I think with me doing stand up, like if something doesn't land, I'm gonna feel that in my body so
Oh,
bad that I'll totally
it's
forget where I'm
tough.
going next.
Dude, it's tough, man. Like there was times when I was like trying to do it back in the day where like the bad ones, I was like, "Oh my God." And then you get off stage and then people are like, "Dude, what are you so nervous for, man?" And I'm like, "I don't know, I just locked up." And they're like, "Dude, you're really good. Just quit being so nervous and you'd kill it." And I'm like, "Ah."
Yeah, if it
Like
were that easy, dude.
but then at the same time, once you get past, I found this is just me personal. My biggest thing is momentum. Same thing with with vocals and stuff like that. Like we go to track a song and maybe the first couple runs, I'm like, it's a little rough. But then once I do it a couple times, oh, that was better than the last one. Oh, that was better than the last. Oh, that was better than the last one. Like
Yeah, working the
Squid keeps having
material.
to delete takes to be like, dude, all right, you're obviously just stretching out and getting your shit going on. So in the stand-up way, there was other times where there was like a tournament or something that I was in back in the day, like the UCC at the Idiot Box, and then I get off stage from the first round, do really well, And then I go up to, it's the opposite of the nervous thing. I go up to like the bartender to like grab a drink or something. And he's got that kind of Bill Burr attitude. He was like, dude, you know how you feel right now? If you get on stage feeling how you feel right now, you're going to kill it every fucking time. Like he gives me that kind of thing every time, little moment where he's like, this feeling, however you feel at this moment, if you get on stage with this feeling and bring it with you, you're going to crush it every time. And I'm like, okay, so I've yet to unlock like that for stand up. I mean, I've done it for like shows and stuff, music wise, but for stand up, that is tough. But my thing with stand up now is I know that this podcast, I'm gonna slowly but surely encourage you and I to get out there and do it again. But like, I don't want to do it as like the grind, like I was doing back in the day. But I really want to do it enough to be like, yeah, I'm good at this. Yeah, it's something I do. It's not like, oh yeah, I'm a professional comedian. Oh, da, da, da. It's just like, yeah, I want to do it because it's just like putting in the reps. Like this is, natural. We're on the microphone and everything like that. But then taking this and just putting it in front of people, not worrying about, oh, they're looking at me. They're thinking I'm funny. I know I'm funny. Otherwise I wouldn't be here. I just got to work out my act or whatever. So
Yeah.
I think eventually we should get there. We should go to Idiot Box or somewhere and do it. And
Nah, man, we'll go full send to kill Tony and just go for it. First
let's
run.
fly out to Austin, Texas and fucking do it. Like,
We're
seriously,
gonna
fuck it.
speed run being stand-up comedian.
Don't
It's
even
like-
joke about that because my level of ambition is down. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, oh, dude, let's just fucking hit up so and so. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I just did.
you know what's fun to think about is that like Tony Hinchcliffe he has like the most like he's got the best setup because he can roast the shit out of people, like what we were talking about, like people like beating up the comedian for like roasting the heckler or whatever. It's like
Yeah.
Tony sits at that table and he's surrounded by like big dudes who are like like fucking Rogan's up there and he's like a jujitsu guy. No one's gonna try to rush Tony Hinchcliffe for roasting him.
Yeah,
And he's like the
Tony's
worst
like
of the worst.
tiny too.
Yeah, but he
Like,
can.
he's a little chihuahua. But yeah, he's the king roaster.
Yeah, he is the teenager that John Mulaney describes in his bit where he makes fun of having feminine hips. He gets
dude.
makes you feel about you the worst.
I know for a fact he would roast me and make me think about stuff I haven't thought about since middle school. Throwback to our first episode.
Yeah, dude, for sure. And I don't know how he picks that up. Maybe he's using your demon summoning spell book or whatever, getting people in there. But he can just freaking hit you in just like the most vulnerable place.
Yeah, and so I know, but I think you need that. He's also in Crashing, by the way.
Yeah, he is
for like the roast battle episode where Pete and his girlfriend end up breaking up because they roast each other too hard. It's not a spoiler. The show's been out for years. Watch it.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's great. But no, Tony, like, I could already, like, let's say we went out there and be like, so where are you guys from? We're from North Carolina. North Carolina.
Yeah, that's actually a really good Tony Hinchcliffe impression.
So what the fuck are you doing down here?
Apparently he chain smokes cigarettes, and I'm like, that's kind of badass. Yeah,
I miss I miss being 19 years old and chain smoking cigarettes.
I do too, man. Like,
now I just chain hit my Lost Mary vape.
I miss those too. Those things. Now that was way more addictive to me than cigarettes ever were because it tastes so good. It's like, oh
yeah, and you just have it on you. You don't have to go outside or anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man, those are so much fun. This is not to encourage anybody to start, but I
am. I'm encouraging everyone. Are you smoking yet? I would love to build a time machine and take one of these like vapes back in time to like Camel cigarettes back in the 60s and be like, yo, check this shit out. Or bring like a pen or something back then to like imagine taking like a pen from like the modern, whoever the big like Modern Herb or somebody, and like time traveling back to like 1960s counterculture and being like, you guys should check this out.
Yeah, man, you should try writing with this Bic ballpoint pen real quick. It's freaking sick, bro.
Look at all of the progress that all of the counterculture and all of them made back then with the weed they were smoking that was like probably like really shitty. Like,
oh yeah.
Like imagine them taking a hit of like the stuff they have now. Someone would build like a spaceship like sooner than it. You know what I mean? Like
big time.
They would have done some like, oh my.
Yeah, man. It's like, I'm gonna
But they didn't have the technology.
hit this Gary Payton and see God, brother. Like, come on, let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Someone just like, have an idea. We're gonna put food in a box and you press a button and it gets hotter. What? It'll cook your food so you don't have to use the stove. I don't know. It'll use like microwaves. Microwave. That's what we'll call it. And they invent that like 50 years sooner.
Yeah, how does it work? Well, we put a little wizard in a compartment in the box, and he uses sorcery to heat the food.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how microwaves work, and that's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Oh, damn, dude. Well, it turns out we actually bought the tutorial with the Alex Jones tutorial. And what's he have to say? There's a wizard in your microwave, and he's casting a spell, causing your food to get hotter. Why do you think it's getting? I almost went into the Tucker. Why do you think it's getting so hotter? That's the rule. That's the goal now. Make your food hotter. Microwaves. Sinners. We're gonna sin.
Microwaves turning the frogs gay.
Yeah. We're see, this is a comedy podcast. I love it. I
That's
love
it.
it. See, Corbin made a comment on the last one where we were getting sidetracked. He's like, "Oh, well, this is a Batman podcast. What are we talking about?" I was like, "Dude, personality podcast. We're all having a good time. It's Dusty Slay. We're all having a good time."
All right, we're having fun.
All right, we're having fun.
Dude.
Yeah, it's great. So, I mean, we could talk about anything comedy wise, like whatever you wanted to go with this, you know?
Yeah, dude. I mean, comedy is something like, well, I was listening to you saw Mark Norman, and I was listening to, it's one of the only ones that of Rogan's that I really like to listen to or like prioritize listening to is the Protect Our Parks that he does, because
Sure.
it's him, Ari Shafir, Shane Gillis, and Mark Norman. And I'll watch anything Shane's in. I love Shane. He's so funny
He's
to me.
funny.
Yeah, and I
Dragula.
dude, that was so good.
You have a reaction to that on your channel. I love it.
Yeah, it's thank you. You recommended it, but you know who Shane Gillis kind of reminds me of?
Who?
You remember Jackson from church?
Yes.
Dude,
yes.
he reminds me of Shane Gillis.
Totally,
like his
yeah.
overall vibe is
If he wasn't
hold
like
on.
Jackson's like really southern, but like
he's a good old boy.
Shane is from what I've been told
He's
is
from
like
Pennsylvania, I think.
the straight up, like he has the accent, like Jeffy was like, yeah, he's from like Philly, like straight up, or Pittsburgh or one of those places. I think it's Philly, but
I'm gonna text Cord. I'm gonna text Cord right now and tell him I want to see what he says when I tell him this, because I think he'll totally. Dude, it just dawned on me, oh Jesus, on me, as I am baked. Does Jackson not remind you of Shane Gillis? Like, he's the NC Shane.
Also, I like how we like everyone knows that we are located in North Carolina, but we've been like, you don't know where. I mean, you know, like probably where I live, but I won't be living here for long, bitch. You can't catch me, bitch.
So we're only doxing me after that.
Yeah, we're not doxing. Yeah, fuck you, bitch. Bye. Smoke screen.
Run
Smoke
away.
screen. Fireball.
Which that guy, Moist Critical or whatever, he says he's from Florida, and he says his first and last name on his videos. No one ever fucks with him, so I doubt it's that big of a deal. It's not like we're out here.
I just want to be
committing
respectful.
Treason.
Yeah, treason.
Treason season.
Then it's treason. Then.
Oh man, comedy.
Comedy. I was literally about to say comedy.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I think I brought up Protect Our Parks for a reason, and I don't remember why. Mark Norman's on there, and the most recent one they were talking about. I'm so proud of myself for spiderwebbing this back. Thank you for your assistance. They were talking about how like movie stars have kind of fallen off in a way. Like everybody used to fight to be in a movie, and because that's where all the money was, but all of them were discussing how like it's far more lucrative now to be a stand-up comedian and just do the road. You'll make more because stand-up is doing so well. And I just took a moment to think about that. Like, yeah, you know, stand-up comedy used to be a really kind of underground thing. You only knew a few major ones, and that was like Jeff Dunham.
Yeah, or
c-
like Dave Chappelle, or like there were only there were
yeah,
only like some big ones. Like it was either really, really famous or like really underground.
yeah, and like comics, you knew that they were like, driving themselves on tour to these different bits and like
Yeah.
doing like really having to cut their teeth to not make that much.
And
But now it's like such an
yeah.
art form that they're
Well,
doing it.
nowadays too, like stand up is getting discovered much like music is getting discovered more through like people scrolling on Instagram Reels and TikTok and stuff like that. Like literally right before we started this, we were watching some Sam Morril clips. Sam Morril is the co-host of the podcast that Mark Norman does called We Might Be Drunk. Friends of the podcast, please. They're Sam Morril is crap. I had a point for bringing that up. What was the point for bringing that up? God damn it, you're gonna have to cut all this.
No, it's fine.
Motherfucker, I'm sorry, my brain just went.
Dude, we're baked.
Please.
It's okay. They might be drunk, but we might be baked. And I think we definitely are.
Sam Morril, I found, that's the point I was trying to spiderweb. Sam Morril, I found him on Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know who he was. You know, back in the day, you and I would find comedians through just like Pandora stations. But we at least had to know one of their names. Like, I want someone who's, this guy's good. I found him on Pete Holmes station or Kyle Kinane station or something. Nowadays, algorithm kind of feeds into that. And that's how I found Sam Morril, who now I would say is like probably my favorite comedian. Like,
yeah, he's great.
And I didn't find him up back in the day, dude. It was Comedy Central Presents. Like, that's how we found like Kyle Cease and like a lot of those dudes back in the day. And like Daniel Tosh, but pre Tosh.0, Daniel Tosh was fucking amazing, dude.
Yeah, he was
Oh
hilarious.
my God. His Comedy Central Presents is golden. Like, he has a whole bit about like if he lived on MTV Cribs, he would hire like the cast of Fast and Furious, or like Vin Diesel would be in his house. Like, it was so fucking funny.
Yeah,
it was before he got into like just like douchebag like reacting to people falling on videos and stuff. Which, get your bag, whatever. But like, like his comedy was so much better when it was just like the Comedy Central Presents, and then the first special he did with like the candles all over the stage.
Yeah.
Where he talks about like daylight savings time and stuff like that. Like, I just feel like a lot of these dudes, it's one thing to be like really funny and entertaining, which is great. Get your bag, but like it's another thing to tell like, wow, that dude is in their zone. Like, no one else thought of this bit. That dude is super creative. That dude's in their zone talking about like I remember Daniel Tosh, those old bits he was talking about, like he would segue like daylight savings into like the pterodactyl, like, they always come back for my coochie in the dark. And he's like, oh, you just helped me from banging a pterodactyl, and you don't want to have sex with a pterodactyl. They have a 6-foot wingspan minimum, blah, blah. And he just, like, it's all this hilarious, just he's letting the ADHD just roll. Kind of like Kyle Cease back in the day.
Yeah.
Which he's Kyle Cease nowadays is or he has been for like well over a decade now, like a motivational speaker, but he still uses comedy in his stuff too. But I'd still, I don't know if I would want to like, he's kind of more of those like buy my seminar kind of guys now. And I'm going to see if there's a cheap way without a fucking paywall where I could just like contact him or just be like, dude, your special 20 years ago was super inspirational, and I know you're doing something different now, but you really made a lasting impact. Like on like seeing his personality on on Comedy Central Presents or whatever his special was back in the day. And he was just so loose and so like all over the place. And I was in like middle school watching that, being like, oh, you can do this style of comedy and you don't have to be some like put together. Because I think part of the anxiety, and correct me if I'm wrong, part of the anxiety for maybe you and I wanting to do it is like, we think that maybe we have to be experts on something to talk about it.
Right.
And I don't think we have to be. Because who's a better expert on a subject if it's like a story than you?
Right.
You know what I mean? So instead of getting up there and trying to be observational, which I think that's maybe we want to be the observational guys, but if we come up there and just tell a story and then observe the story and reenact, isn't that crazy? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that happened. And you know what I mean? Like it's so unique, and then just kind of build on that. So it's kind of like when I first got into singing, or not into singing, but into like metal vocals. And I was trying to do the the yell, scream, sing. I was like, oh, well, Sam from Architects does that. I'm going to try to practice along to them. And to this day, I cannot practice to Architects. Even though we can both do that, like, whatever the style is, I can't do it like he can do it. So, you get the parallel I'm trying to make, where it's like,
Right.
even though I like this guy and I want to do something similar, I can't
That's
practice along to
his.
him because it's so, with stand up, it's just like, you and I are fucking hilarious. So we just have to hone that shit in and figure out, like, oh, I could just tell this bit. Even
Yeah.
if I've told this story a million times to friends, this crowd's never heard it. So act like it's the first time you've ever said it, and maybe get the gist of being like, oh, the reward could be the crowd's never heard it. All my friends or my wife or, loved ones or whatever have heard me tell this blah, blah, blah story a million times, but this crowd's never heard it. So, hey guys, you want to hear the one about me? You know what I mean? Like, really simple it down to that. And again, all this is easier said than done, but I think it's cool to kind of walk through that. So boom,
Yeah.
that was hilarious. I went from like amnesia fog. I was like, wait, what's happening? To just
Yeah, man.
monologue.
You
So,
traced it back and then let the racehorse out of the stable and just ran with it. I love it.
yeah, momentum.
Well, stand-up
We're all
comedy
back.
is something that you and I have always just held in a very high regard. I remember in high school that we were like, showing each other stand-up clips and like just losing it during study hall, watching like
Yeah.
different stand-up comedians. And
Mhm.
the way that I got so invested in stand-up was because, I was driving 45 minutes, if not a little more, twice a week, 2 times a day, twice a week. So what instead of like, because back then it was harder to find like music and have the music unless you had the CDs or you could put it on your phone, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to pay this much a month and
There
have
was
every
no
song ever.
There was no Spotify back then.
Right.
Spotify wasn't a thing. There
All
wasn't
we had
on
was
demand.
Pandora. It was
Yeah.
Pandora, and I was like in high school, high school, so I couldn't like pay for like a
Yeah.
membership, so I couldn't
Or
pick
you
exactly what I wanted.
or you had to have the song saved to your iPod.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. And have the aux cord, got to have the aux.
Right.
But so I figured that like, well, I'm making these long drives, and I just got my license, and I just need something to keep me like engaged. And so what I did was I just started typing in like a stand-up comedian that I liked in Pandora, and then
Mhm.
that took over because it made the drive go by so much faster, and I was just having like it put me in a zone. So then from
Yes.
there I started doing that when I was mowing the yard. I started doing that like anytime I had a reason to put my headphones in, I just listened to stand up, and I found you and me both found so many just amazing comedians because of that.
Oh,
But
totally. And then a lot of bits we can't even find anymore
exactly,
because
I
they
was
were
gonna
like
say
only
that.
on Pandora.
That shit sucks, man. I don't
God.
understand.
Yeah.
Because like just because a comedian says it one way one night and doesn't mean they're going to say it the same way on the recording or vice versa. And it's like inflection is everything. And sometimes
Mhm.
I think you get that nugget of gold at a moment during like when you're in flow state doing stand up where it just lands better. But on the
Yeah.
record,
And I
it's not quite the same delivery, maybe because of nerves or whatever.
being a fan of that kind of stuff and like the art of stand up for a while, I unintentionally carry that into other parts of my life where like I'll watch an interaction with friends and then they maybe didn't say something funny, but just I'll bust out laughing and then have to be like, sorry, just the way you delivered that line was so funny.
Yeah, dude.
Like, I'm not laughing at what you said because, that'd be kind of dark. Maybe the subject matter wasn't like whatever, but I was like, how you said that, like, as a stand-up connoisseur, like that was really fucking funny.
It's not so much about what you say, it's how you say it, and at least in
Yeah.
certain regards.
And I think too, like you and I, we come from the South, so some stuff that makes us laugh is anecdotal, Andy Griffith style, haha, relatable country stuff. And other stuff that makes us laugh is probably hits our brain in more of a shock way. Like, I'm sure the first time you and I heard somebody like with a Northeastern accent doing comedy, we were like, oh my God, this is funny as fuck. That you can talk like a Bill Burr or like someone from like Long Island or someone from, New York, Boston, any of those, like with a heavy accent that's
Or
different than
Bark.
like,
Bark is so naturally
yeah,
funny and I think his accent
yeah,
does so much for it. But man, everything he
exactly.
says is hilarious to me.
And Bark might not even be saying something trying to make you laugh, but it might make you laugh just because of his okay, you fucking da da da. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like his delivery, just because it's like kind of foreign
that
or
was a good
like
Bark. Park's
or
also
what's
he's got incredible wit too. He
he
can pull
does,
some
yeah.
really good quick
Very quick.
rebuttals.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's the novelty of like I've never heard someone talk like that before, so it's like entrancing
Oh,
almost
yeah.
to hear.
I'll give you a really good example of that too, and I've told you this off pod, but just for the sake of the pod, here we go. Like,
Yeah, let's go.
there's certain words I had never heard in order because, again, being from the South, if you're raising your voice at someone, that just means, whoa, is there conflict? Whoa, there's
Yeah.
conflict. And then you get older, you grow up, everywhere else in the world or in other parts of the country or whatever, people are raising their voices and they sound like they're pissed, but they're joking with each other. So like it would like scare me hearing like my friend Jeffy, who's his family is Italian, and then him talking to my friend Jimmy, who is also from like the Northeast area. We were playing Rocket League, and we were playing like 2v2 with some friends of ours, and it would randomize us. So they were on opposite teams talking shit. Yeah, how do you like that, motherfucker? Da, 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 da. Whatever, right? General kind of stuff. But then they got on the same team, and then they started talking more shit to each other. Like they would steal the ball from each other, or like it was just a whole thing. Like I would watch them like steal the ball, and then Jimmy's about to score, and then Jeffy stole the ball last minute and scored, and then he just goes, yeah, how do you like that, you rat fuck? And then like I was on Discord just fucking crying, laughing, and like he's not saying it being funny. He's just like, yeah, how you like that, you rat fuck, and like just talking shit normally, like, and I'm busting out laughing. I'm just like, I'm sorry, dude. That was just like it's novelty. Like it's just funny as fuck. Like I don't know how to, and like to somebody up north, like they would hear that and be like, yeah, that's just how people talk, or like down here, well, doggone it, you know what I mean? Like in the South.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that might make someone from the North laugh or whatever, or like or from the West Coast or East Coast or whatever. I don't just want to make it South and North because
Sure, right. But like
but
I
like
think there's
fucking West Coast is like more relaxed. Like that's something also I noticed too, is like East Coast, even on the South, even though we're kind of slow and everything, we're still like anxious. West
Yeah.
Coast, everyone's just like woo,
Yeah.
like I don't give a fuck.
That's it. Well, I think something that's really funny is that like people up north seem to have at least a little bit of thicker skin, because like hearing it is hilarious. But if someone were speaking to me in that way, I would have to, hey, can we pause for a second? Are we cool?
Dude.
Like, are you and me cool right now? Cause like that hurt.
Yeah, there's been times where I was like, yo, are you mad? And then it's like, no. I'm like, oh shit, my bad. Like
I do not know your language yet, and I need to figure that out because my feelings hurt.
I need to just I think the easiest like exposure therapy to that for me would just be like I don't know when or if how I would do this, would just be like a solo trip to just New York, like right in the heart of it, and just go and stay and just all right, I'm here.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I say. The best way to learn a language is to go like live there and learn it that way. But keep going.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say like immerse yourself in whatever you're, afraid of, kind of thing, and then just be like, whoa, all right, well, this is as scary as it gets. Whatever, like now I know.
Yep.
But I don't know when I'll be able to do that, but that's at least like on the not the bucket list, but on the like the thing you make sand castles out of, not like those little buckets. It's on that kind of bucket.
Yeah, like a sand castle bucket. Because when you say, I was going to say what you make sand castles out of. Would sand? This is your sand list? I hate sand.
You.
Of course, it gets everywhere.
You. Actor. You. So yeah, I mean, fucking comedy fucking rocks, and it's been well, the thing about comedy and podcasting go together because, like you said, on long drives, you put it on, and talking just makes drives go by so much faster than music for whatever reason.
Yeah, especially phone calls. Phone calls make drives go by the fastest, I think, because you're engaged in the conversation.
Which is where this whole podcast even came from, is because you and I would talk to each other, about once, twice a day or something in the weekdays whenever you were driving to class. And so we were just like, dude, we just need to turn this into a podcast. And we've had people our entire lives, I want to say that for the record, our entire lives separately and then together have been like, oh my God, y'all are so funny. Why don't you have a podcast? Do you have a podcast? I would totally listen to it. Oh my God. Oh, you're blah, blah, blah. You know what I
Where
mean? Like
those
that.
bitches at? They said
Yeah.
they'd
Here
listen.
we are.
Where they at?
Here we are. Dude, that's another thing. Like, little peeve when people are like, don't forget me when you're famous. I hate that. What does that mean? As it, you know what I mean? Like,
You gonna
what,
hit me
what,
up for money?
or just like, don't forget me when you're famous. It's like, okay, let's say I get famous, quote unquote. Let's say tomorrow I win American Idol. If I'm gonna forget you, that means that you were forgettable in the first place. Like if you were, you know what I mean? But I'm not just gonna like have amnesia and forget you if you like supported me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, oh, don't forget me when you're famous. It's like, well, are you nice to me already? Because
I think
like
it's
I don't
similar to
know.
that southern quip of like this that I think just applies here. It's like, oh, don't forget me when you're famous, but it's always like oh shit, I just had it and I lost it. What is it? Shit.
Y'all go be rock stars.
Don't forget me when you're famous. Damn it. Oh, I lost it. Shit.
It'll come back.
They always come back for my Gucci in the dark. Yeah, don't forget me when you're famous, which is oh yeah, don't be a stranger. Like
Don't be a stranger.
don't
Yeah.
be a stranger in my life, and you're not gonna be forgotten. Like if
That's
we
all. Yeah, that's always where I'm just like, dude, if you support what I'm doing, like music, art, whatever the fuck I'm doing, like, or just lifestyle, just check in or whatever, then sure. Like, I'm not gonna wake up tomorrow and just be like, all right, I'm famous now. I'm gonna forget every single person who
peace,
like,
bitches.
yeah, like if you've been there, it's like, yeah, dude. But if not, then it's like I'm not gonna remember you anyway because you stop. You know what I mean? Like, or
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't know.
remember everybody I went like who's in my yearbook. I remember a
Yeah,
few of
like
you because
I'll forget people not even out of maliciousness. You'll just be like, oh yeah, that person. Oh, I hope
it's
they're
just how
doing
it
well.
happens, dude.
Yeah, your brain can only hold. And plus, I'm already like ADHD as hell. I can't remember what I was, talking about 3 seconds ago. So like, I'm Dory from Finding Nemo, man.
Yeah.
Except, I'm not Ellen DeGeneres.
Ellen the generous degenerate.
Yeah, Ellen the generous degenerate.
Well, I think like if I can't remember all the people that I've come in contact with in my life, but like there's even times where I'm scrolling like my Instagram feed and they'd be like, "Oh my god, I follow them." That's
Yeah.
crazy. I've been on this app, all week. I never knew that I followed this person. That's crazy. I forgot they existed.
Or like a friend of mine will have like a nickname or something on Instagram and they'll like my story or something and it'll be like so and so liked it. I'm like, who the fuck is that? And then I'll go and check and be like, oh yeah, that's so and so.
Oh my god, I know who that is.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy. But yeah, I mean, comedy is just really expansive. I mean, on this, dude, I know we talked about movies before, but we could like I said the thing about like, oh, you guys have always been funny. You should start a podcast, blah, blah, blah. People have always told us that we should do like radio or voice acting or something like that too. So I think this is good, like hands-on process for that. But like, where'd the roots of that come from? For me, is to my knowledge, it came from The Mask
Yeah.
with Jim Carrey, which my mom has like footage somewhere of me at 4 years old, like reenacting scenes that I had just seen. And I don't even know what he's saying. I was just like doing the parrot thing.
Yeah,
You know what
for
I mean?
sure.
But like that's deep rooted. Like that's been with me for a while. And I'm like, what was my reason for that? You know what I mean? It wasn't like why did I think it was just what I wanted to do, like it
Right.
wasn't, it was like pre-trauma, pre all that, you know what I mean? Like it was still just like little
Innocence.
kid. Yeah. So it's like, all right, that's always been there. So why silence that or whatever? So I've always been good at like doing voices and like repeating stuff back and just always had, and you and I were actually talking about this on the phone yesterday. You and I are very unintentionally like animated, like where people have told me, like coworkers of mine at like previous jobs, when I'm just talking to them, like I'm not even trying to be funny, I'm not trying to be whatever, they would just be like, oh my God, dude, you like remind me of like someone on SNL, or oh, you're so crazy, or you're so ADHD or whatever. And I'm like, fuck, I'm literally just talking to you. I'm not even trying to be, you know what I mean?
We're not
I'm not trying to
putting
do all
on
that.
airs.
Yeah, you mean she puts on airs? Like we're not doing that shit. Like, isn't that hilarious? So that stuff is naturally in you and me. Because again, I'm sure you have your own version of the stuff that I just said.
Yeah, totally. But like, you're speaking about where we got this from. I know one area. I agree with you in the sense that like I was raised on Jim Carrey films, like in the good
Sure.
ones too. Ace
Yeah.
Ventura. So where I got Ace Ventura first, and then moved to The Mask and fell in love with that, and then
See,
Dumb and
I
Dumber.
never got into Ace Ventura like virtually at all, like until I was older.
Yeah,
But yes, Dumb and Dumber for sure.
that's one of the funniest movies of all time, in my personal opinion. I
Dumb
love
and
it.
Dumber is like the best 90s movie. Like the year we were born, a lot of good movies came out. And Jim Carrey was like killing it too.
Oh yeah, big time, big time. So early Adam Sandler too. Like I don't necessarily care for much of like his more recent stuff, but I've heard Uncut Gems is amazing. I still haven't watched it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a comedy.
Yeah, it's very intense from what I hear. Like it gets your heart
go
racing.
fuck the weekend.
But like, so like you had Happy Gilmore, Waterboy. Love those movies. I think they're hilarious. And then definitely on Ace Ventura. But then
Billy Madison was another good one with him
Norm
too.
Macdonald, rest in peace.
Yeah. Hey, where's Billy? He's at school.
If peeing your pants is cool, then consider me Miles Davis.
Oh my God, lady.
But
Get out of here, lady. You're scaring us.
So with Jim Carrey movies and Adam Sandler, and then like my dad has been a pastor my entire life, so I'd watch him get up and speak, and I've always really just like admired my dad's speaking voice and the way that he would kind of work a room in the sense of like where to put like jokes and soft jokes and knowing the types of jokes that are good to tell in front of a bunch of judgmental old people. So like watching him do that, I think I naturally picked up on just like what it's like to do public speaking, like without even meaning to, it's just like you're exposed
which is
to it.
sick, dude. Which is so sick. Because like a lot of people, like public speaking is like their biggest fear. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And I get it.
I was terrified of it until I was forced to do it in school. And then like, I don't know, and it took me a while to even get comfortable with it. Yeah. Cause there's been a lot of public speaking that I've had to kind of like do. And, so like, all my jobs, like my first big job was in a call center for Ralph Lauren. And there, like, you have to speak a particular way when you're on the phones because, hoity toity.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
You have to use like certain phrases and avoid certain stuff.
So that was my first full-time job. And I got it before I was really supposed to, cause I was 17, I believe. Yeah.
You were like, you were right on the like cusp, either 17, 18 or something. Like you were right
I was
there.
a young buck and I thought I got into a big boy job, which I did for what I had no job experience. Like the job before that I had was part-time seasonal work at GameStop in the mall.
Right. Yeah.
So being on the phones there and doing that for I think a year and a half, which was brutal. But you learn how to talk because there's just a special way you got to do. You cut on that customer service voice and you run with it.
Yeah.
And then moving into the job that I had after that, I got to a point to where I started having a lot more fun with it because it sucked so bad. But like I would try to engage the people who are calling early in the call because I learned if I could disarm them with something, it could like diffuse them being upset with me right away because people on a phone tree, they're waiting to get to some agent and then you hear the
they're not calling in because they're happy either. They're like, hey, I have this problem. I need you to fix it.
Right. But on that same point, having worked in call centers for as long as I did to now having to call centers, you can tell the moment somebody picks up the phone on whether or not they're going to be helpful to you. You can tell. And I don't know what it is, but there's been so many times I've been on a phone tree for 30 minutes listening to that stupid fucking hold music. And then the moment that person picks up, I go, they're not going to be helpful and they're probably going to hang up on me and make me go through all of this again. And I've got like a 90% accuracy on guessing that shit, dude.
Yeah. That's why you just hang up and just start over.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it because I just waited for forever. But it was through doing that I learned, a little bit of just like banter with people calling in who were upset. Yeah. They're calling an insurance company. Yeah, they're pissed. They've just gotten like turned around 2 or 3 times and like
they're dealing with like money and costs and medical. They're in pain probably. Right. It's a lot of shit.
And you learn how to read people by their voice and like disposition over the way that they're enunciating their words. And that helped me learn how to like, okay, where's my angle on how to get this guy on my side? And a lot of it comes from empathy. A lot of it comes from just like trying to be as relatable to them as possible. Of like, hey, I get it. I totally understand. I get your frustration. I hate calling places like this. Let me help you out. I think I can take care of this for you. You know, establish that trust.
Yeah.
But then I would always close. I had the best survey numbers of anybody on my team, and it was
Oh
because
shit.
yeah, dude. And I had a trick for how to do it too. It was like as I was closing the call, I would be like, "All right, was there anything else I can do for you today? Anything I can help with?" And they'd be, "Oh no, you've been great. Thanks so much." I'd be like, "Okay, well, do me a favor." And then that would always stop them. Like, "Wait, what?" And I'd be, "Yeah." So I'd say, "Well, do me a favor, give it a beat, just a beat, so that they could sit in it for just a second, be like, wait, what the fuck?" And then I just be like, "Have a wonderful rest of your day, all right?" And then, "Oh my God, thanks so much. You too." Like it really just like it put them
Yeah.
on the back foot and gave them something soft. And then they're like, "Oh
Yeah.
shit." And
Okay.
I never once got a bad survey unless it was because
Nice.
of something that happened prior to them getting to me.
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
those surveys they
Yeah.
would end it with, "But this last guy, he handled it, he was good." Like, all right.
Uh-huh.
But that it's like that goes hand in hand with stand-up comedy. Like, because you and I both have been in situations of public speaking where you can feel the moment you won the room. And it's such a good
Yeah.
feeling. And that's what helps step you into that flow state. Because you get that first moment of like, everyone in here is on my side right now. And then it's the anxiety kind of lifts and you kind of come alive. And it's like, all right, cool. Let's fucking go, dude. This is sick.
Yeah, and like moving from, I mean, doing public speaking at like a church or something and then going into like an open mic, you just have to realize like, hey, wait, I've done this before. Now I can do it without having to censor myself. I already know how to talk to a room of people. It's just different, you know what I mean?
Now to
Different
figure out
room.
how to talk in the right crowd, how knowing how to
Yeah.
read the room as well as win the room.
Yeah. And there's something in that too, but yeah, I mean people I think I don't know, comedy is just great, dude. Like and there's so many different like it's so broad, you know what I mean? There's some stuff that's like you're gonna latch onto this, and some stuff you're gonna hate. Like it's so broad and all over the place. But it's been it's been really instrumental there.
Yep.
Because I mean I think if not for Comedy Central back in the day and like those early movies and stuff, like we were also just born at a time where like we got to grow up with some of the best like styles of comedy kind of as they were coming out. Like we got to live through like the Judd Apatow kind of peak in the
Oh
2000s.
hell yeah, dude.
You know, where he's just putting out banger, 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 and then like
Hold on, I
the SNL stuff is like I've referenced this off pod before. Like my personal like peak of SNL was like the era with Andy Samberg, Bill Hader, Kristen Wiig, like all of that stuff, like Jason Sudeikis, all of that, like when Will Forte, like that whole it was whenever like Lonely Island was a thing, like and they were making like Hot Rod, and then they made a few other movies like that. Like we just got to experience we got to like be 10 years old, 12 years old, you know, whatever age you want to call it, as a lot of these monumental movies were coming out. And it's just really cool to see. So and as a lot of like big comedians were coming out too, and it's cool to witness kind of the rise of certain comedians. Like there are comedians that are huge now that you're like, oh, is that guy new? And then you look back and you're like, oh no, that guy's been doing it for a while. He just looks different. Like Nate Bargatze, he's been doing it for a long time, but his look changed in the last few years. Like he has like the handsome salt and pepper dad look now, and like before he kind of like had like a little bowl cut younger kid kind of. He always sounded and looked, you know, had the same kind of delivery and whatnot. But there's people that are just like he went from being like this background guy to all of a sudden the guy that's in arenas playing Madison Square Garden and all this kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
it's pretty wild that like think about Madison Square Garden, dude. One of the biggest venues in the world. It's like in Manhattan or New York City or whatever. In the last like several weeks there's been like comedy show. Like Sam Morril performed there with like a benefit show or something big. And then
Kill
a Knicks
Tony.
game. Kill Tony. Bring Me the Horizon just played there. Like it's this legendary venue where like they have comedy, they have shows. It's such a like I've always heard that like playing MSG is like the goal. Like if you that's like you're in the history books. Like not literally,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean? Like that's a big fucking deal or something. So that's always been like a like a, you know, like kind of like a low key little goal, you know, like, you know, maybe one day I'll get to do that or something. Like, you know, that's way far out there, but it's still, you know, attainable enough. I mean, if you see what these people do, because I mean, you look around and you're like, these guys, like, yeah, they're famous and this and that happened, but like they all had to like start like you hear some of these early comedian stories and the grind stuff, and you're like, oh my God, you did that? You
Yeah.
drove here for that, and you're eating like shitty gas station hot dogs and ugh, God, it's almost like touring in a band early on, where you're just like, I'm not making hardly any money, but I have to do this.
It's just lonelier.
So yeah, yeah, exactly. That's another thing with stand up is you're not with a group usually. You're either by yourself or maybe with one other person, especially in the early days. Like you're by like that's it's a lot of time just to like be in your own head and stuff, which like I can like me personally, I can handle at times, but there's sometimes where I'm like, I need another person so I can like not go insane because I can feel myself shifting into like I'm only in my own head now. Like
Yeah.
when Jeffy like leaves for tour, like a few days goes by and I'm still kind of like in social mode, like kind of like my brain or body is like, yeah, there's another person around or whatever. And then like a week or two goes by and I'm just like, yep, just me and the cat. I'm officially in like this weird trippy mode where like I'm gonna anytime I'm like left by myself or if I go off by myself too, it's like on like some solo trip. It's always I always learn I always gain something like as if I like tripped on like a substance or something like that, which I've
Yeah.
never even done. But like I'll gain something from it. Like first time that happened was like a few years ago when like Nikki and her family went out of town for like Hawaii for like a few weeks and I was like dog
That's
sitting.
badass.
And then while they were gone, I like, I don't know, just had like some therapy kind of moments and stuff. And then like came back to it. And then I was like, oh shit, I guess that worked, like it was just a lot of introspection and stuff. So I don't know. I try to find those opportunities anytime something happens there. But point being is like, there needs to be balance. Cause if you're like in that comedian mode, traveling and you're always by yourself, it's like, dude, that's a lot of, cause then the show's only like an hour,
Yeah.
At least with a band on tour, you like have someone else to, hey man, you feeling okay? Oh yeah, I'm feeling kind of, you know what I mean?
The social
Like,
interaction that is needed. Like, your sim will die if it doesn't get enough social interaction. What's the difference between sims and real life? That's what I'm saying.
yeah, dude. Or like your, God, like the little pocket pet thing. I forget what that thing is called.
Tamagotchi?
Yeah. Like your little thing will die. Like you got to watch it.
Fuck that
You got to
thing.
water it like a plant.
You brought up Judd Apatow movies, and then I just started looking at his filmography, and I did not realize that Judd Apatow made some of my favorite movies of all time. This is crazy.
Is he the Christopher Nolan of comedy?
Dude, can I just read a few of these?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
All right. First off, I'm not that big of a fan of this movie, but people love it. Knocked Up. 40-year-old.
Still a huge. I'm looking at it from like a blockbuster.
Oh yeah, that one was gigantic. 40-year-old Virgin. That one's great.
Huge.
Yeah, huge. Super Bad. Let's fucking go,
Massive.
dude. Coming of age movie. I think this movie is super hilarious and maybe underrated, but Bridesmaids, fucking hysterical. That is a great movie. Pineapple Express, Anchorman,
Again.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I love that movie. Step Brothers, Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox Story, Talladega Nights, Get Him to the Greek. I didn't like, this is one Jim Carrey movie that I personally do not like at all. The Cable Guy, not my thing. Yeah, I watched it and I did not like it. Drill Bit Taylor, I saw that in theaters with my mom. I don't remember anything about it. Anchorman 2, Pee-wee's Big Holiday. Hold on. Fun with Dick and Jane. I never really saw that one. What else? Kicking and Screaming, that Will Ferrell movie for the kids that play soccer. Am I missing anything else that's super standing?
Like Year One, it looks like.
Oh yeah, Year One. I see that one. But I think I've got through all the ones that I'm like, these are so fucking good.
Notice that like with Judd Apatow, all those movies, like if you see the movie posters, they all have like the font is all pretty similar. Like
yeah, it's true.
Red, bold, like this. It's usually like a quick title. Like it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's usually nothing super deep. It's like this is 40, Step Brothers, Knocked Up, like Super Bad. Like it's usually just people posing on the front and then just like red or white or something bold. And then it was just such a time, like you just don't get movies like that anymore. And what's funny is like around that same time, you were getting a lot of the parody movies coming out, which like the scary movies and stuff. Those were really funny, but then they started doing parody movies for like everything, and it got so like
Meet the
bad.
Spartans. I made the mistake of going to see that with my mom when I was in middle school.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
dude. My mom is
no,
super conservative, and she was like, "Hey,
no.
honey, do you want to go to the movies? You can pick the movie." And I said, "Yeah, I want to go see the Meet the Spartans movie. I saw the trailer on TV. It looked funny." It was the most uncomfortable I'd ever been around my
Oh
mom
my
ever.
god, I
Oh my
bet.
god, it was the fucking worst. That
'Cause
movie
it probably
sucked.
opens with like some gross shit.
Oh
Like
yeah, it's all terrible, and it's got horrible reviews, and it's like the scary movies can get away with that for sure because you kind of expect it. And I really love that movie, Haunted
yeah,
House. That one is
yeah.
so funny to me. But
Like any of
like,
the scary movie parodies are usually good. Like
yeah,
horror
for
movie
sure.
parodies are usually, but any of the ones like uh there's like Meet the Spartans and like Date Movie and like a lot of
Yeah,
those like
disaster movie. It's like, all right.
uh superhero movie is pretty funny. It's so bad, but it's really funny. It's got like Drake Bell stars as like the Dragonfly. It's a parody of Spider-Man.
Oh, that's hilarious. Well,
And his
hello,
uncle is Leslie Nielsen.
I think a good bit of that. Uh, shit, I forgot where I was going with that. I accidentally clicked on something.
Oh, you're
Anyways.
fine. A good bit of just like yeah, so Judd Apatow, like there it was just a good time for comedy, but there was also a lot of like, the parody stuff was just making it like really, really it was just a lot that people were throwing everything against the wall because also around that time, 2009 was whenever Zombieland came out.
I
And
love
like
that movie.
that was for whatever reason around like the late 2000s, early 2010s, the genre of zombies was really like there was like the zombie survival guide.
Dude,
Like, you
it's
know what I mean?
Call of Duty's what brought that on, man. World at War took over when they
Yeah,
dropped zombies.
and I think also there was the scare of the world ending in 2012 where there was a lot of like apocalyptic, like zombie apocalypse, like that kind of shit
Yeah, that makes
happening. But
sense because if you think about it, like X-Files got huge in the 90s, with Y2K coming up and everything. People are
uh,
getting real conspiratorial, so that makes a lot of sense.
I'm looking at Zombieland and it has great reviews, man. I'm glad
The
it's still.
first one slaps. The second one I was so excited about, and I
Oh,
thought
I
it
didn't see it.
sucked. I hated it. Like I thought it lost all of its. I mean, like there were some good parts to it, but the youngest one in the group from the first movie. I hated her character in the second movie. She really pulled me out of it the whole way
Oh,
through.
Little Rock.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the
Yeah.
movie is really focused on her the whole way through. And I was like, I really wish it was focused on literally anybody else.
Dude,
Like,
Emma Stone's dough.
that's what I'm saying. And Woody Harrelson. I love Woody Harrelson.
Oh, he's so yeah. I
He's
still
so good.
to this day, I am I always like if someone's like, "Oh, you don't like that food?" I'm like, "It's not the taste, it's the consistency."
Well, Woody Harrelson is a huge stoner now. Did you know?
I did not.
Yeah, he's
I didn't
he's
know him. No, I wasn't sure.
he was on Rogan a while back, and I'm pretty sure he is just fucking ripped the entire time. You can see it in his eyes. But I think he's like started getting really involved in cannabis, and I think that's so fucking cool. I would love to have Woody Harrelson in a blunt rotation.
Woody Harrelson, if you're listening, Woody Harrelson, please help us. Please help us.
Yeah, come get stoned with Dragon and Nolan. You might
Yeah.
regret it, but hopefully not.
I don't think you'll regret it. I would want to, like what version of Woody Harrelson? I would want the Woody Harrelson from the Hunger Games to like come be like,
Ooh,
listen,
yeah.
you guys got to get ready.
I'd really
There's
like
gonna be people out there shooting arrows at you, so you better fucking get ready out there. You motherfucker. I'd be like, oh God, wrong Woody Harrelson. I'm sorry.
Dude, I'm taking Cheers Woody Harrelson.
Yeah. Oh, that is a show I need to go back and really really dive into because I've seen clips of it. And I know the theme song.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, after Scott died, I got real sentimental because that was like his favorite show of all time, or maybe
Yeah.
not of all time. He told me, Dragon, this is one of the best shows ever created. It truly is, and I didn't understand it at the time because he tried to make me watch some episodes, and I was too ADD and worried about other things to really pay attention to
Sure.
it. So after he passed, I got hit with this moment of like, I'm going to watch every episode of Cheers in honor
Yeah.
of my friend, and I did. And when Woody Harrelson showed up, I was like, get the fuck out of town.
Yeah.
You work here? And he
Yeah.
plays, it's like one of his earliest roles, at least from what I understand. That might be not super accurate, but
It probably is
it's
though.
super early and he's so young and starry-eyed and excited and you just love him. He's
Yeah.
such a good character in the show. I highly recommend watching through Cheers. At least give it a season or two because it's just fun, good feeling sitcom humor. I love it. It's a great show.
Yeah. And what's his face? The main guy, the
Sam
bartender.
Malone, Ted Danson.
Yeah, he plays on The Good Place and like a bunch of other shit like that too later
Yeah.
on.
I liked The Good Place.
I never finished it.
I never did either. I got to season 2. Actually, it's funny you bring that up. I talked to my wife about it last night because she liked that show. And I was like, I never finished. We talked about Ted Danson last night, which is so weird.
Oh, nice.
But she was like, yeah, The Good Place is like a show that I think they went too long with it. I think they should have stopped it sooner.
They as soon as it twisted where it's like, oh no, we're in the bad place. I was like, and the show's done.
That's where I stopped. Yeah, I gave it up right there too.
And then like the next 3 seasons, they're like traveling through, they're like having to go back and change their lives, and it's this whole thing. And I'm just like, all right, dude. Like it's still great. Don't get me wrong. I'm so weird when it comes to shows, man. Like I have the worst time with even shows that it's like I love. It's hard for me to like watch a new show. Like if I'm watching a show, it's gonna be like some sort of comfort show because it's so difficult for me.
Yeah, dude,
Like,
I'm this exact same way. I'll put on How I Met Your Mother for the billionth time before I put on something new because I think something new.
yeah,
Look, here's what it is. I think I figured it out. We grew up in an era where we had TV and cable. And if you were home alone as a kid, what are you going to do? Sit there with the house super quiet? Fuck that. That's scary.
yeah, you just had it on. Yeah,
I'm turning on Nickelodeon and making it loud enough so I can hear it while I'm in the kitchen making a sandwich because it gives me a sense of comfort. And now,
and it wasn't on demand back then. It was just like, oh, it's 4:30. This is what's playing.
yeah, we all fell asleep with Comedy Central on, woke up to the Girls Gone Wild, advertisements.
What do you mean woke up?
So
I was still awake.
I was waiting for them.
I do remember like the first time, like as a kid, like you're watching Comedy Central or whatever, and then all of a sudden it gets a little too late and you start seeing like the Adam and Eve commercials or like the cam girl things where it's like, wait, if I call this number, some girl will talk to me, but it costs this much per minute. Like even at that age, I was like, now that doesn't sound like a good deal.
Yeah, this seems like somebody's getting took.
Yeah. I remember like one of my friends, like neighbors was like, dude, I called that number. Oh, and then we're like waiting for them to answer, like, hi, welcome to, and then like immediately hung up, like, oh, we called, oh, like, oh, we did something bad, you know?
Wonder if they still charge you for that 1 minute. Like maybe that's how they like really got people because they knew kids were gonna call it and then hang up immediately.
Shows up on your parents' phone bill.
Like, what the fuck happened?
Be like, hey, I was trying to learn. Yeah, it was super weird because I guess the later you go at night, the cheaper the advertising spot is. The most expensive spot to advertise would be prime time. Like,
Sure.
like prime time is like that's when the news is on. Back in the day, at least that's like the news, Entertainment Tonight. Blah, blah, blah. That was like the NBC lineup, and then like the shows would come on to be whatever's on prime time. So basically between 6 and 9 o'clock, like those time slots, if you're an advertiser, you want to get your shit in that time slot because that is when everybody is watching TV, right? So at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., those advertising slots are so cheap that they can just run like an hour's worth infomercial for like nothing and just be like, buy this fucking blender and also buy, all this, sex shit too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because it cost them nothing to run that ad. Probably they're like, someone's up, someone will see it.
Yep. Or it's gonna be people waiting in line at a methadone clinic, but that's okay because they need the support. But it reminds me of when, do you remember that the Family Guy bit where I think Quagmire and Cleveland are like strung up by their wrists and they're shown that like
the DirecTV tutorial.
And
Like,
they could
please press your DirecTV remote. Step 1. Like they just keep repeating it.
Dude, we saw so many commercials for like ringtones, and now that's what I call music compilations and the Shirley Temple thing so many times that it's like, I could verbatim say this and get it 100% correct because I've seen this so many times because it keeps interrupting SpongeBob and I fucking hate it.
Oh, dude, I have a I have a good one for you actually. If I can if I can find it, I'll share my yeah.
Oh
I
hell
know
yeah.
you've heard this one.
Let's hold on. Let me
Let me
let me
share. Actually, I'll just send it to you.
okay, cool.
That'd be easier.
Hey man, I got you, dog. Rise of Crazy Frog. God, I remember
Dun
Crazy Frog.
dun 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 dun
And he
dun.
was in
Meet the chop
everything.
saw, a kid-safe
Crazy
power tool for cutting
frog.
cardboard.
Hold on.
Just turn it
It's
on
ad.
and cut.
All right. Hold on. Let me share my screen.
This will hit you.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
definitely one of the commercials that we
In the nostalgia. Let's do it.
all right. Yep.
Imagine owning the world's greatest love songs by the greatest voices of our time.
Oh God, Michael Ball's, yes!
In a once-in-a-lifetime collection. Time Life Music presents the
Dude, buy a
Damn you,
shit ton of
John
CDs.
Ingram, and your
Buy-
soulful voice.
All these CDs for like $100.
Dude.
There's one part in there where have I told you lately that I love you? The
I
ultimate
remember that
love
one.
song collection.
Dude, and like so many of us were going through times where parents are getting divorced and these are the commercials that are on and
Oh,
you can
yeah.
just see your parent dying inside
I
when
would-
these songs come on because they're so heartfelt.
I would want to order the one that it was that same commercial, but it was like the rock hits where it'd have like Headstrong and Evanescence and a
big
bunch of
time.
other shit on there.
Yeah.
That shit rocked.
That was our version of playlists back then. It's like the top 100 playlist. Buy the CD and you'll get the one song you want to hear from that band over and over and over again.
Yeah, when I was like in school in the computer lab, how I would pick songs is I would go to like the Billboard charts and be like, "Oh, what's this? What's this song called? Fireflies by Owl City." Okay,
Let me check it out.
let me go check that out. And then I was like, "Oh, cool." And then I would go buy the CD at Walmart.
That's
Which is crazy.
And the cool thing about that, and it's something that I kind of miss, is like the days of like having to have like a Walkman CD player and you had the one CD that you left in it and forgot to like your bag or like your book of CDs somewhere else. So like you had to listen to every song on the album. And I think it made me appreciate the band more. You find the deep cuts that like now I go to Spotify, I'll save 3 songs.
Yeah, exactly.
It
You wouldn't
sucks.
even know like the fucking title of the song. You would just know the track number.
Right. Oh yeah, 8's the one that I like. I'm gonna go to 8. So
Like, skip 5. I hate 5.
This is really like added to the fact that like we're creatures of habit, and I think that's part of the reason why. It's like, oh yeah, I listened to that CD 18 times front to back because it was the only one that I had for like 2 days while I was mowing the yard.
And it's wild because you'll go like years without hearing something, or years without hearing a song or watching a movie, and then you'll put it back on and be like, "Whoop!" Like the soldier activated sleeper cell agent. You're just like, I know every line of this. Like I haven't watched the Tom Segura special that we both know and love in years, but I guarantee you, if I put it on right now, the first 20 minutes I could just word for word.
Absolutely.
I've seen it so much.
I know you could, and it would be hilarious to behold. But it's like, it's like as soon as you turn on the thing that you have those memories with, it takes you right back there almost instantly. Like I'm that way with movies because like I used to fall asleep to the same movie every night, depending on what school year it was. Like I think it was 8th grade, maybe 9th grade. I fell asleep to School of Rock every single night.
Oh, so that's that. All of it is just ingrained. It's your soundtrack.
Absolutely. So I can word for word School of Rock. The Bench Warmers was another one that I fell asleep to for an entire school year. So there's a number of movies that like I just like. I remember the Pacifier when I was like in fifth grade. My dad,
oh yeah,
he got me one of those like DVD players from the back of the car, and for some reason that was the only movie that I had in it, and I would just like turn that on because the beat's just sitting in the car. And so I've seen that movie a billion times. And it even goes back to my car accident. This fucked me up, dude. Is that like when I got in my car accident, for people that don't know, bad car accident, I was 17, woke up a couple of days later in a neck brace on my mom's futon. And I hadn't lived with my mom for like years at this point. So I didn't know what was going on. And when I woke up completely disoriented, I had a terrible concussion. I was in a neck brace. And my mom, I had just gotten a Netflix membership, by the way. I was feeling like a big dog because I had a job, and so I could pay for my own Netflix
Yeah.
subscription. And my mom would never let me pay for a freaking RuneScape account because she wouldn't put her credit card on the information on the internet. Anyways, I woke up already super disoriented and like, what the fuck is happening? And then my mom was like, "You watched that movie a lot," and I said, "What?" And she said, "Yeah, you kept watching this movie with Jackie Chan over and over and over again." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then, so I looked at my Netflix history and it was like, previously watched or continue watch or whatever. And it was Spy Next Door with Jackie Chan. And she said, "Yeah, you've been sleeping for days, but then you'd wake up, turn that movie back on, and then go right back to sleep. And that's just what you've been doing." I was like, what the fuck? So I tried to watch that movie, had no idea anything about it. None of it rang a bell. It's crazy.
And then you go and like, I just Googled that movie and it's like really bad apparently.
I'm not surprised. I don't know why subconscious me would pick that, but I did. And I don't remember doing anything. Like it's so weird being where I am now in life and still being able to go back to that and thinking there's a series of days of my life that I have zero recollection of, and it's because of that car accident. And if I think about it too much, it freaks me out. I really think that it was like God or the universe. Yeah. I think it was some sort of, being or, spirit or whatever you want to call it. I call it God.
Exactly. Sure.
Like protecting me in a way. I mean, of course it's head trauma. You're not going to remember that, but like, I don't remember veering off the road. I don't remember any of what happened. It's just like
the car flipped, right?
It didn't flip, but it went down like a 40-foot embankment and landed in a concrete culvert down a backcountry road.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. The jaws, they had to use the jaws to get me out. It was it's a crazy story because like, my dad talked to the fire marshal who was out there and he's like, I've never seen anything like what happened here, because on parts of the car, passenger seat, back seat, like the floorboards were practically touching the roof of the car, but not in the driver's seat. So that's like, it's spooky, man. It's super spooky.
Bubble. Yeah.
Yeah. It's big. When my dad tells that story, dude, it'll give you goosebumps and get you misty eyed real fast.
I bet. Oh yeah. I need to hear him tell a version of that sometime.
Yeah, I've been thinking about like sitting down with my dad. I've been something that I want to do for years. It's just like take a couple weeks to just like once a week, sit down with him and with the microphone and just let him tell his story and have that for forever. So I could like,
that'd be sick.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do it.
Totally. Yeah, definitely should. Yeah. Did you want to do anything? Like, did we miss anything with comedy?
Oh yeah. Let's get back to that. Comedy. Sorry, what?
I mean, we covered a lot there, but like, I don't know if there's comedy. Pull it up.
One of the first stand-up comedians I was ever exposed to was a Christian stand-up comedian, and I kind of stand by the only funny Christian stand-up comedian.
I know who you're talking about. I think I know who you're talking about.
And it was Tim Hawkins.
Yeah, that guy's funny.
He had one special that we saw. Me and my brother watched it, and we were crying laughing because he makes fun of Christians to Christians, and we were like, I've never seen anything like this. This is hilarious.
Right. He's not just playing the like, I'm a clean comic. He's like, like he's goofy. Like he's really funny.
And he makes fun of like tropes about Christianity in a way that like doesn't piss people off, but I can appreciate.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, he's great. Actually, that just made me think of something. Whenever I went to a Christian camp one time in like a summer camp in like middle school or maybe early high school, I don't know. Maybe I was probably like 13. I don't know. They would always have like a talent show or something like that. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna do stand up, because everyone else would just sing like Oceans, you know what I mean? Like so they'd sing some fucking Hillsong song.
Call me out upon the water. God.
Spirit lead me where. Yeah, they fucking. It's like a fucking 9-minute song. Anyway, so I would do stand up. So this one year. I did like the first time I did it, and these were not all the same camp. Like they would always be. It would usually be like different churches or different. We go to this place or we go to the out of state or some places in state, whatever. This one, we went out to the mountains in North Carolina, and that one was sick. That one was awesome. Like, it was pretty much like, there wasn't really like, I don't remember there being like an audition process, but it was just kind of like whatever. Like, it was, and at the time too, it's talent show. So I'm repeating jokes that I heard other comedians say, but I'm putting my own spin on them, kind of thing, which you're allowed to. I mean, you're 13,
You're a
whatever.
kid, you do what you got.
You're just like, oh, no one's doing his comedy act, whatever. But then I went to this other one, I think it was somewhere in Georgia, and during my audition, part of my bit, I said like, dang it, or darn it, or something, and then they were like, oh, we can't let you do the thing because you said that, and like, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, well, I just won't say it in my act. And then they were like, oh, no, it's too whatever. And they didn't let me like perform. But then that same year, these dudes in my in my class kind of did this like, or not class, in my like group were doing like this like clean, like it was like a rap comedy thing. I forget, it was some sort of skit, but I was a part of their group. And then we did the talent show, and then we ended up winning. And I was like, fuck you, bitch.
Yeah,
like,
take that.
Yeah, I just won the talent show. And like, you don't fucking win anything or whatever. But it was just like, it was just really weird because I'm like, you're so nitpicky over stuff. And I'm like, okay, I just won't say that. It's not like I said like, fuck God or anything. You know what I mean? Like, it was really weird, like the levels of censorship right there. I want to segue that into censorship with like Christian venues and stuff back in the day with music. I'm not sure if this is appropriate time to do that or if that's better suited for another podcast, but it is an interesting concept how like that would happen, and like some of these places would be more fun and some of them would be like, oh, how dare you, blah blah blah. Like, you weren't even allowed to like hold hands with a girl or something like that, even though a lot of these people like, are suppressing a lot of like so a lot of these people, like at the time, like you meet a girl at one of these things, like, you know what I mean, it's, oh my God, you guys are like holding hands, or like, that's like, it's fucking weird. Like, it's a lot of repressed stuff. So I guess, those people get older and then, they turn into freaks like me, I guess.
Yeah. Well, like there's some things about like that Christian censorship that I think it's like you're paying so much attention to something that really doesn't matter as much as you might think that it does. There's a
Oh, you said a bad word. Ooh.
well, yeah, there's this I'd call him a pastor. I'm not sure if he is or not, but his name's Tony Campolo. And I've seen some of his, I mean, he's given like a sermon or whatever, but he does it in a way that's not like any pastor that I've ever seen. And he has this one bit about making birthday cakes for hookers, and it's a story that he tells.
I love that.
Oh my God, it's amazing. And it's dude, it every time I watch it, it reignites something in me, and it's like that's what Jesus is actually talking about here, man.
Totally.
But he has another snippet that somebody told me about where he was giving a sermon in front of a church, and he gets so worked up, he gets to the point, and he's like, there are people who are dying and going to hell every day, and you're not, and you couldn't give a shit about it because you're too wrapped up in your social club. And then everyone's like, oh, he said shit in a church sermon. And he follows it up by going, and you want to know how I know? It's because you care way more about me saying shit than you do about the people who are going to hell. And I was like, that's a great point, dude. Like, where's your
people
focus?
get caught up in just like, oh, you said this wrong thing or whatever. So yeah, it's just a lot of unnecessary stuff like that where it's like, dude, we're still in the point for us to be in community here together.
Exactly. Exactly.
So that goal is still getting accomplished. If I was standing up there, even if I'm not swearing, let's say I'm just like spreading hate, like, that's one thing. But if I said, fuck you, Dragon, versus you're fucking awesome, Dragon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm still cussing, but it's like, what am I saying?
It's the intention, man. It's got like the intention. You got to read into the context of like, oh yeah, the intention is to make me feel good, or the intention is to hurt my feelings or to be funny. Saying fuck you to somebody can be amazing, but
it's great.
It's like, where's your
fuck you to Satan?
Exactly. It's like, where is your focus? What are you putting the focus on? Are you putting your focus on the thing that makes you feel like you're better than somebody else because you don't speak that way?
And there's like a performance, like it's like a maintaining like a reputation, like a public persona almost.
Sure.
And that just gets really tired because I guess I'll segue like a mini version of this. We can eventually have an episode where we talk about music and can talk for like a while on it.
Let's
but
do
like this right here though, like in the censorship when we were teenagers and stuff, that stuff happened at the Christian camp, but also when you and I were playing in bands back in the day, Bible Belt. Some of the venues we're playing are like Christian venues, and there's 2 venues back in the day that we used to frequent. One of which would make you like say a prayer and like read your lyrics, and this, even if your lyrics talk about struggles, you have to have something in there where Jesus brings you back home. And that always hit me weird, because I'm like, what if people are still in that like phase where they're, what I mean, like what if they just don't know yet? So there was that venue, which was very like, if you want to come in here, you got to have a conversation about being saved and all this kind of stuff. And then there was this other venue. There was a quote unquote Christian venue, like right up the road, like probably 30 minutes away, that, same bands would kind of circulate, where the owner of that venue, his only rules were no cussing on stage and no fighting. That was it. He didn't make you, he would like smoke cigarettes outside with you and stuff. And he'd just be like, all right, y'all kids be good to each other. And like, he would still cultivate like a good like
community
environment. Like the only bad thing there was just the fire code, because we would cram like hundreds of kids into this tiny little like coffee shop thing. But like the vibes were there at that venue, because people would show up to that venue that weren't quote unquote little Christian church going kids. Like you'd have like you'd have a lot of like I just don't have other words for this, but like Satanist and all this other stuff, or other people show up to those shows because they would just be like, oh, I like the vibes here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and like that's what made people want to come back there, is because they didn't have to like,
feel
okay,
judged.
everyone, take off your shoes and say this and count to 3 and blah, blah, whatever, little rituals. Like it felt just like this is just a hangout spot or whatever. And it sucks that that place is no longer with us. And what's even crazier is to look at, this is just a self little brag here, I guess I got, but back in that day, we would book like local shows at that venue, but then we would see like touring bands coming through, but they were like smaller at the time. So we just send an email and be like, hey, you guys, coming through to this area, and, usually be able to get them for cheap. And there's a band that is huge now called Fit for a King.
Woo!
They play like the Ritz and like theaters and stuff now, to like 2,000 people headlining. And I got to book them at that tiny coffee house venue when they were like, just when they got signed, or very early on in their career, when their cost to book them was very low. And I actually probably like overpaid in retrospect. You know what I mean? Like I gave them like $400. They were probably worth like 150, maybe 200, maybe. But at the time I was like, oh my God, this band, you know what I mean? So, but that venue would let that stuff happen. Like you didn't have to go through all this red tape and everything. So point being is like, if you try to censor stuff based off of just like, oh, don't say that because it makes me uncomfortable, it's like you're going to end up like censoring the message, especially when it's like, when it's given out of this like religious, like, oh, well, I'm only doing this because I love you, or this is for the greater, and this is because I said so. It's like when you're, you know what I mean? It's like that kind of vibe. And you're like, dude, there's no logic here. You're not even willing to have the tough conversation. You're just cutting it off before we can even talk about anything. It's just, oh, I'm scared. Oh, this makes me feel weird. Cut off. So there's, you gotta go into the depths of stuff and everything and figure stuff out. But
what ministers more to the heart? Is it forcing someone to have a conversation about Christianity, or is it showing them love and acceptance for being there? Like Jesus modeled that kind of perfectly, in the sense, like, look who he hung out with, look who he associated with, and also look at, let he who's without sin cast the first stone. Like, Jesus isn't even judging people. It's like,
think like if you look at that and then you look at your own life. How many times throughout, like, not even church, just like corporate work, whatever, like who do you trust more? Do you trust somebody who's like uppity in the suit, got the cool persona, whatever, or do you trust the punky person with tattoos and piercings that you run into that might be, oh, they're scary looking, but then you talk to them for 2 seconds and you're like, you're the nicest person ever.
Yeah, it's like I trust my cubicle mate, my cubicle buddy, far more than I trust the VP of the company. Like, I mean, that's how that goes.
Yeah,
we're in the trenches, brother.
Yeah, it's like we're in this. There's a reason why, like, there's a separation or whatever there. So I'm really, really trying to do my best to bring it back to some sort of theme that we initially talked about and branched out about, but I can't think of one. So I might be out of steam, honestly. With
I think so too.
With everything, and then we can cut it off and then just kind of recap there. But as far as comedy goes, like stand up, it's been there for us, like listening to it, consuming it in the live format too. I think it's really valuable to see stand up live in like a club setting too.
Absolutely.
Like I really think it does something to you, man. So
I think stand-up comedy is why we're here doing this right now. If it weren't for that, I don't think this would be a point of interest. And I'm so glad that it had such an influential role on both of our lives. Listen to
and
more
voice
stand-up,
acting
people.
too. Yeah, and just to add on the voice acting, before I forget this, early like animated shows like that I would watch again when they would debut on TV, like Yu-Gi-Oh comes on at 4:30. Oh, my bus time, I get off at this time. Oh crap, I'm gonna make it for the last 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like you had to be there to watch it. So, but a
Right.
lot of those early shows and animated shows with like the voice acting on top of the stand-up and on top of the Jim Carreys and Adam Sandlers and the Will Ferrells and all that stuff, the animated shows, even if they weren't funny, they gave it some sort of like life. Like one of my favorite is a character called Bakura from Yu-Gi-Oh. Like the first time I heard him talk, and even to this day, like he has like the perfect like evil British voice, like conniving, like with this card, we'll see what happens. Da da da. Like very, very like, enjoy it while you can. Like this kind of like intelligence-based kind of evil. He's not just like I'm evil man who's gonna blow up shit. He's like the first villain I saw in the voice acting where it's like, oh, this guy's like strategic and like intellect-based and all this kind of stuff. So like there was voice acting like that, and then there was just a lot of things to cling on to too that were really like influential, like in real life the British guards from Pirates of the Caribbean, and like a lot honestly dude, like the British accent has just been like, I mean, there's different variations of British dialect and British accents, but like throughout movies and stuff, you always have, or video games, you have like the guards that are like, hey, what was that? You get back here. Like the Uruk-hai from Lord of the Rings, where they're like, looks like meat's back on our menu. Like it's all these characters that just have these really like, I don't know, these voices that are, you just remember forever. So you just, when you go to reference stuff or think about stuff or just vocal stem, like they just stay with you. So I don't know, man. Something about the British voice needs to be studied, because in every fantasy movie or anything animated, it's always like, I am British. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, that stuff stays with you, man. It's fucking sick.
Big time, big time. And voice acting is still something that I'm super interested in. So
yeah, we'll get there, man. I mean, we're doing it right now. This is
this is practice. This is getting the reps in for sure.
All right. Oh, just to add the practice thing, I'll just add this last line to circle it back to Christopher Nolan. In Batman Begins, at the very, very beginning, he's in this like prison or whatever, and this dude is like beating him up, and he's like, "You are in hell, little man. Punch, and I am the devil." And he punches him again, and then Bruce looks at him, and he's like, "You're not the devil. You're practice." And then he fights him.
That's badass. Oh, I gotta watch that movie again, dude.
Oh, it's so good, dude. So I think of that line, "You're not the devil. Your practice," like all the time, dude. It's so sick. So we'll leave it on that. Yeah, practice makes perfect.
And go listen to more stand up. Go give views and engagement with stand up comedians out there. Show some love. They deserve it. They're working hard.
Yeah, consume it, man. We all need it. We all need go find the humor that works for you, man. Find the stuff that involuntarily just makes you cackle, like without even meaning to. Like,
oh yeah,
not forced laughter. Like you're like, wow, I am involuntarily just losing my shit right now.
Well, that about does her, folks. Thank you all for listening to the podcast and hanging out with us today. Make sure you subscribe if you want to keep up with any of the new episodes that are coming out from us. And if you would like to support this podcast, you can support me by subscribing to my YouTube channel and checking out my link tree with all the different links to my socials and getting in touch with me that way. Also, becoming a member of the channel really goes a long way with me and helps support the channel and keep me moving in the right direction. So thank you for that, for those of you in advance.
Yeah, absolutely support Dragon's channel. And if you're into pop punk or screamo type music, check out my band Winterwell, all one word. We're on all the streaming services, Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. We have a bunch of new music coming out this year. So if that's your thing, check it out. If it's not your thing, I will not be offended. Thanks for listening to the podcast regardless, and thanks for supporting Dragon.
Link trees for both of us are in the description, so make sure you check those out if you want to support the podcast, and we will catch you all next time. Dragon abides.
Subscribe to my OnlyFans.